Alright, what's up you guys, and welcome back to the Progressive Skills in English Level 1 coursebook. In this video we're going to be going over theme number 3, work and business. So let's just dive right in. So we have exercise A, activating ideas. Obviously we're going to be talking about work and university here, as we can see from the pictures. Discuss these questions. What are the main differences between having a job and going to university? Well, I'll personally say that, when you have a job and you have to go to work, it's very important for you to be a lot more responsible, hardworking, to dress well. You can't dress however you want, obviously compared to, college or university where, for the most part, you can choose to skip class if you want to. You can wear whatever you want within reason, obviously, and stuff like that. So what are some of the main similarities between the two? Definitely will say that, well, in both places you have responsibilities. Obviously, you must organize your time effectively, both during your job and, in uni or college. And obviously, you must interact and cooperate with others. This goes for both uni and, your job. Okay, now let's go to exercise B. Predicting content. You're going to listen to the first part of a talk by a visiting local business person. It is called How to Be a Good Employee. Look at the pictures opposite and think of some words you expect to hear in the talk, and then what kind of information are you going to hear? Tick one or more. Okay, so let's take a look at the pictures here. We have one. It looks like, so we're going to be listening to a talk about a business person on how to be a good employee. Okay, so some of the words that he's probably going to say are going to be, colleague. Actually, let me open this. Can I open it? I don't think I can open it. Yeah, I think I can actually open it. So let me close this. Okay, so some of the pictures here is obviously things like the word lazy, being punctual, being on time, respecting colleagues. I think these are the ones that I can think of right now. We'll listen to the guy in a second here. What else though? What kind of information are you going to hear? Tick one or more. Looks like we're going to be hearing about advice. Advice, and I think also it's going to be advice for the most part. We might hear like jokes in the middle. Obviously business people like to joke around and just to further prove their point. But I think advice is going to be the one for the most part. Okay, so now let's listen to the talk. When does the speaker say about each point? Write some words under each picture. Okay, so as we're listening, for each point, we're going to have to write some words under each picture. So I'll be writing those as we go along. Here we go.
Track 3.1.
How do you get a good job when you leave university? Well, here's an idea. Start thinking about it now. Change the way that you think about university. Think of university as a kind of job, your first real job. So, university should be a job. But what is a job? What do employers want? I'm going to tell you 8 important things. I'm talking about work, but all of these things are important at university too. Number 1, you must go to work every day. Of course, if you're sick, you can't go. Phone and tell your manager and stay at home. But you must phone. Secondly, you must be punctual. That means that you must always be on time. You must be on time for work, for meetings. And when you come back to your desk after lunch, if you're not punctual, people are waiting for you and they get angry. Why? Because you waste their time. In addition, the company loses money. Number 3, you must respect your manager, the person who gives you your tasks, your pieces of work. You must also respect your colleagues, that is, the people who you work with. Finally, you must also respect the customers, in other words, the people who buy things from the company. Fourthly, you must do all the tasks on time. But fifthly, you must not rush work in order to finish on time. You are responsible for the quality of your work, whether it is good or bad. Sixthly, now this one is a really big problem nowadays. You must only use the company's equipment, that is, the phones and computers, for work and not for personal things. Many companies have software to check your computer usage. If you misuse your computer, your manager will probably find out. 7, you must keep your workspace tidy. That means your desk and any shelves or cupboards that you use. And finally, you must also organize your work files sensibly, in alphabetical order or chronologically. That means by date. We have heard about a lot of rules at work. In the next part of my talk, I will give reasons for these rules.
Okay, so I'm actually just going to finish this real quick by date here. So, we listened to the talk, and for some of the pictures, we had words like go every day, phone, obviously phoning your boss to tell him that him or her if you're sick, on time, obviously being punctual, and if you're not punctual, whether that's in the morning or lunch or after, lunch break, you make people angry and the company loses money on your behalf. Again, respecting colleagues and your manager. Tasks, make sure that your tasks are always submitted on time and by the end of deadlines. Make sure that the quality of the product that you're either selling or making, you're the one responsible for it, so make sure that it's good and not bad. Using equipment for strictly for work and not for personal use, so you don't use the company's equipment for your own personal use. Keeping your workspace tidy and clean. And finally, organizing your files either by date or alphabetical order. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, let's go to the vocab box. Here we have chronologically, customer, equipment, manager, punctual, quality, task, and workspace. Okay, now let's go to exercise C2. The words below are in the talk. How does the speaker define each word? Okay, so is this the same listening section? Hold on.
Track 3.
A good job when you leave university.
Okay, so this is the same exact listening that we just heard. So what I want you guys to do is, if you're struggling with what I'm about to do here, is go back. I think it was like 2 minutes ago. Go back and listen to the listening part, just because I don't want to waste too much time. Okay, so the words below are in the talk. How does the speaker define each word? So when the speaker talked about being punctual, he talked about being always on time. Okay, manager. When he said manager, he said that manager is, where is it? The person who gives you orders. He gives you your work for the day. Okay, then we have colleagues. Colleagues are the people that you work with. D, customer. Okay, so customer is obviously the people who buy things from your company. Okay, tasks. Tasks are pieces of work. Where is it? Tasks. There you go. Quality is good or bad. Okay, so obviously I'm not giving the definition of the word. I'm just saying that what the business person said in the talk. Equipment. So for equipment, he said things like phones and computers. Workspace, so think of desk, shelves, cupboards, etc. Chronologically, that is ordered by date. Okay? Now, that was exercise C2. Let's move on. Here we have exercise D, making notes of the main points. Let's take a look here. Turn this off. Complete the notes below with a verb in each space. So how to be a good employee. Okay, so let's fill the blanks here with the correct verb. So 1, dash to work every day. So we'll say, we'll say go to work every day. 2, be punctual. These are all from the talk, by the way. This is the exact same talk. 3, that'll be respect colleagues and customers. 4 is dash tasks all the time. So we'll say do all tasks on time. I could say complete, but that's not what the speaker said. So I want to make sure that it's exactly what the speaker said. It's not wrong. It's just not what the speaker said. Okay. Number 5, we have do all tasks. Well, again, we use do instead of complete because the speaker said so. 6, not Not dash computers for personal things. We'll say not use computer for personal things. 7, dash your workspace tidy. We'll say keep your workspace tidy. 8, dash files sensibly. We'll say organize your files sensibly. Okay? So go, be, respect, do, use, keep, and organize. Okay? Now let's move on. I think this is the first page, so okay, so now let's move on to the second page. Okay, so here we have exercise A, reviewing keywords. Let's take a look. Okay, let me turn this off. So listen to the sentences. What is the next word? So I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to write as we go along.
Track 3.2.
1. Always arrive on time. It's important to be punctual. 2. You must keep your shelves, your desk and your cupboards tidy. 3. Your files must be in date order or in alphabetical order. 4. At university, your tutor gives you instructions. He or she is your manager. 5. If your work is bad, it is your fault. You are responsible. 6. Do your work on time. Complete all your tasks.
Okay, so punctual, tidy, order, manager, responsible, and tasks. Okay? Pretty simple. Let's move on. Identifying a new skill. That'll be skills check 1. Let's take a look here. So, hearing important words. So, when a speaker gets to an important word in a sentence, he or she often says it more loudly. That is, the word is actually stressed and you can hear it just a little bit louder. Okay? So, listen for the loud words in each sentence. So, you must go to work every day. You notice how the words go and every day are in a little bit louder than the rest of the words. You can't wear jeans in the office. Okay? You're gonna hear it either stressed or a little bit louder. Okay? Read skills check 1. When you listen, how do you know which words are important? We'll say, in this case, how do I actually word this? I'm just gonna say the important words in a sentence are louder than the rest. Okay? So the important words in a sentence are louder than the rest. Look at the sentences from another lecture. Which words will be stressed? Okay, so this is looks like these are words or sentences from another lecture, so we're going to have to say them out loud and see which ones are actually going to be stressed. So companies want college or university graduates. In this case, it'll be companies, okay, want college and university graduates, okay? What else? Okay. All employers want critical thinking. Oh, actually, that's it. Okay, so all employers want critical thinking. That'll definitely be critical and thinking. C, but how can I get work skills, you might ask. So we'll say, but how is going to be emphasized, and get. D, you can learn management skills in university clubs. You can learn management and skills are going to be emphasized and stressed in university and clubs as well. E, you must show that you want to learn. Show, want, and learn. Okay? These are all words that are supposed to be louder than the rest. F, you must take responsibility for your mistakes. Take responsibility and mistakes. Okay? Now let's listen to them again and check our answers.
Track 3.3.
A. Companies want college or university graduates. B. All employers want critical thinking. C. But how can I get work skills, you might ask? D. You can learn management skills in university clubs. E. You must show that you want to learn. F. You must take responsibility for your mistakes.
Oh, I think we're done here. Okay. So let's now move on to exercise C, making notes. So read skills check 2. I'm actually going to turn this off. Read skills check 2. Which words do you write in your notes? Okay. So the loud words are the important words for you to write down in your notes. So the speaker says you must go to work every day. You write go every day. Why? Because I don't want to write too much. Obviously, I want to be focusing with what the speaker has to say, but at the same time, I want to get a summary of what he said. So I'll say go every day instead of you must go to work every day. You must be punctual. I'll just write punctual. Okay. You must respect your manager and your colleagues. Respect manager and colleagues. All of these words, you'll notice that if you ever hear a speaker talk, these are the type of words. The stressed words are the ones that are going to be louder, and they're, for the most part, the important words. They're the important words that the speaker says. Okay. Now let's move on. Listen and note the key words in each sentence. Okay, so we're about to do this fun little example here. We're going to be listening to a speaker, and we're going to have to write down the key words, or the words that are a little bit louder. So here we go.
Track 3.4.
A. How do you keep a good job? B.
Actually, I'm going to pause it for a second. So how do you keep a good job? So how, we'll say keep, good, and job. Okay?
How old do you need to be?
We'll say how. Oh, my bad. Did not mean to write that. So how old do you need? I'll skip 2, so I'll just say B. Let's keep going.
C. You learn new skills from your colleagues.
You learn new skills from your colleagues. So I'll say learn. Oh, wow. I didn't even write it down. Learn new skills from your colleagues. Okay?
D. Your employer will give you orders.
I have 2, so I'll say employer. Obviously, that's a very important word. So employer, and then orders as well.
E. Practice your skills to make them better.
Practice your skills to make them better. So we'll say practice skills make them better. So we'll say better. Obviously, this L is supposed to be capital, and employer is supposed to be capital as well. So how, keep, good job. How old do you need to, or need be here? Learn, skills, colleagues, employer, orders, and practice skills make better. Okay? So that was exercise C. Now let's move on. Let's take a look at the vocab box. Critical thinking, employer, graduate, negative, positive, respect, take responsibility, and for. Okay? Now let's take a look at exercise D. We're going to be listening to some verbs. Turn this off. So listen to some verbs. Is each positive or negative? Positive means it's a good, it's a good thing. Negative means it's a bad thing. Okay? So based on the verbs that we're going to hear, we're going to tick each one if it's positive or negative. So here we go.
Track 3.5.
1. Goes. 2. Don't tell. 3. 'll do. 4.
So So here we go.
Track 3.5.
1. Goes. 2. Don't tell. 3. 'll do. 4. See. 5. Doesn't like. 6. Has. 7. Won't make. 8. Didn't take. 9. I'd like. 10. Wouldn't go.
Wouldn't go. Okay, so these were the positives and the negatives. Now let's move on to the second part of exercise D, D2. So we're going to be listening to different sentences now. So not words, but sentences. Is each positive or negative again? So let's go.
Track 3.6.
1. He works in a bank. 2. Managers don't like workers to come late. 3. I'll finish the work tomorrow. 4. The company has a big office. 5. The woman doesn't know the way. 6. The secretary has a lot of experience. 7. They won't buy any new machines. 8. I didn't make a mistake in the letter. 9. They'd like me to work at the weekend. 10. I wouldn't do that. It's dangerous.
I wouldn't do that because it's negative. Okay, so that was exercise D. Let's go to exercise E. It looks like it's I think very similar to exercise D. Let's take a look down here. So listen to some sentences. Is each positive or negative? So I think this is like extra. So let's keep going.
Track 3.7.
1. Are. 2. Aren't. 3. Can't wear. 4. Must go. 5. Shouldn't leave. 6. Is. 7. Isn't. 8. Were. 9. Can be. 10. Mustn't come. 11. Should have. 12. Weren't.
Okay. First part done. Let's keep going. Listen to some. These are going to be different words, so let's go.
Track 3.7.
1. Are. 2. Aren't. 3. Can't wear. 4. Must go. 5. Shouldn't leave. 6. Is. 7. Isn't. 8. Were. 9. Can be. 10. Mustn't come. 11. Should have. 12. Weren't.
Okay, so that was exercise E. Let's move on to the second part. E2. Listen to some sentences. Again, very similar. Is each positive or negative again? So here we go.
Track 3.8.
1. You can't be rude to customers. 2. They're important people. 3. She's the manager. 4. They weren't late yesterday. 5. You aren't responsible for the files. 6. The papers were on your desk. 7. You must arrive before 9. 8. Everyone should be in the office now. 9. I mustn't leave before 6. 10. You shouldn't wear those clothes. 11. This isn't a difficult problem. 12. You can be in charge this afternoon.
You can be in charge this afternoon. That would be positive. Okay, so that was now we're done with the positives and negatives. This was exercise E. Now let's move on. Let's go to exercise F, identifying consonant sounds. So let's take a look at the pronunciation check first. Let me see actually if I can get you guys a better view. Okay, so here we have hearing consonants. Here we have G, G that is pronounced as G, and then we have, or J, and then we have, Y and U. We're going to talk about these in a second. So the sound G, or rather G, if you will, is the sound of a written letter. So think of the words like egg, good, colleague, bigger. I don't say bigger, I say bigger. Okay, I don't say should, I say good. So this is what this G sounds like. The other G is the one that sounds like a GE or a J. So think of a manager, a job, college, etc. Okay? And then you finally have the last sound, which is Y or U. So yes, usually, or you. Now let's take a look at exercise F. Tick the correct column for each word accounting to the underlined sound. So we have, like we said, manager, so G, good, G, and then we have Y or U. So change is going to be just like manager, G and G. So manager. Actually, can I reset this so I can tick the correct column? Well, it's not ticking for some reason. Let me try this again. I'll reset that. Okay, so it's not ticking. So I'm just going to say them out loud and you guys stick them on your books. So change is going to be in the second or the middle column. Okay, so that'll be manager. 2, begin. Begin is going to be just like good. Get, just like good. Job. Job will sound like number 2. Okay, so the one in the middle. Manager, job. University. University starts with a U and it has that U sound. So we're going to put it here, last column. Young, just like good, but the G is towards the end. So first line, and then we have wage, just like when I say minimum wage. So I make a good wage. So wage will be just like manager. Now let's listen and check our answers.
Track 3.9.
Change. Begin. Get. Job. University. Young. Wage.
Okay, so now let's move on. Let's take a look at exercise G, recognizing reasons. Let me see if I can open skills check 3 from here. Okay, so I can. So let me actually go back. Skills check 3, expressing obligation and necessity. Obligation and necessity is when you have something is necessary, something that you are obligated to do, something that you have to do. Think of studying, going to work, completing your assignments on time. All of these things are considered obligations and necessity. Now in English, we use the words must and have to express this need for obligation and necessity. For example, I say I must study harder. That I use the word must to express that, hey, I need to actually study harder if I want to pass. Okay? You mustn't copy another person's work. This is something that's, you're obligated not to do. Okay? That's why I said must and then put N and T. Okay? So mustn't as in must not. So you mustn't copy another person's work. I have to see my tutor tomorrow. Okay? I have to. It's something that I have to do. It's necessary that I see my tutor tomorrow. You don't have to come to the university at the weekend. Again, expressing, I guess the lack of necessity for not coming to the university at the weekend. Okay, so you don't have to come to the university at the weekend. That's why we added don't. We often follow an obligation or a necessity with a reason. So when you state an obligation or a necessity, for the most part, you follow it up with a reason as to why you feel the need or the necessary need to do the thing that you're about to do. So I must study harder because my marks are not very good. Let's take a look at the second one. If I say, I have to see my tutor tomorrow because I didn't understand the lecture, for example. Okay, so after expressing your obligation or necessity, most people follow it up with a reason. Okay, now let's go to exercise G, 3.10. Let me turn this off. listen to some sentences. Does the speaker give a reason? So we have, I'm guessing, 6 sentences, and for each one, we're going to tick if it's a yes or no. So listen for a reason, you guys.
Track 3.10.
1. You must finish on time. Why? Because other people need that information.
Okay, so he said why? Because other people need that information. So that's the reason right there.
2. We must arrive before 8 o'clock. We have lunch at 12. We finish at 5.
Okay, so I'm going to say no because he didn't give a specific reason as to why we should come early. Like he said, oh, we have to come before 8, or I don't exactly remember. Then we're going to have lunch at this, and then we're going to have dinner at that. He didn't specify as to why we should eat lunch or eat or come early. Okay, so this is not a reason.
3. You must be responsible for your work. Other people can't do it for you.
This is a reason right there. So other people can't do it for you, right? That's a reason as to why you should be responsible when doing your own work, because other people simply can't do it for you.
4. Customers must complete a form with their name, address, and telephone number.
Okay, so customers have to complete a form with their phone numbers, address, etc. He didn't give me a reason as to why, so that'll be a no.
5. Office employees must be polite. Rudeness makes people angry.
There's a reason right there as to why you should be polite, because rudeness makes people angry. That's the reason.
6. I must go because I have a meeting at 3 o'clock.
Okay, so this obviously a reason, because if he doesn't go, he's going to miss the meeting. Okay, so that was the first part of exercise G. Let's move on to the second part. I'm guessing we're going to listen again. Give it a second. So, I'll reset this. Listen, is the second sentence a reason or a new point? Okay, so we're going to be listening to 5 more sentences, and is he going to be giving us a reason, or is he going to be talking about a new point? Let's listen and find out.
Track 3.11.
1. A new employee must work hard. He or she usually has a lot to learn in his or her new job.
Okay, so this is actually a reason and not a new point, because, a new employee should work hard because he has a lot to learn. This is a reason to encourage said new employee to start or actually to work hard. Okay, so that'll be a reason.
2. So you must always come on time. Now let's think about wages.
Okay, so she said you must always come on time, and then she completely shifted the focus to a new point, which is talking about wages, right? The money that you're going to earn from said job. So that's a new point.
3. Big companies want diplomas and degrees. They need knowledge.
Big companies want diplomas and degrees. Why? Because they need the knowledge that someone gets when they study for said certifications. So that'll be a reason as to why they need certificates and diplomas, or degrees and diplomas.
4. Employees mustn't waste time. Time is money.
Employees must not waste time because time is money. That's the reason as to why they shouldn't waste time. When you're wasting time at a company, you're costing them money.
5. You mustn't take things from the office. Another point is critical thinking.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure you guys figured that out already. She literally said another point, obviously talking about something else. So that'll be new point. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so that was the second part of exercise G. Let's go to the third part. Again, another listening section. Listen, the speaker gives a silly reason. Correct the reason in each case. Okay, so we'll listen to this together first. There are actually really silly reasons as to why the speaker does what he or she does, and we're going to have to correct said reason.
Track 3.12.
1. You mustn't play games on the computers at work because the level is too difficult for you.
Okay, so you mustn't play video games at work because obviously the level is not too hard for you. So we'll say something along the lines of, we could say it's, it wastes time and looks unprofessional. So we'll just say, because it's, or I'll just say it's not professional. Okay?
2. You must be polite to colleagues. They will buy lunch for you every day.
Okay, so obviously you should be polite to colleagues, but not because you expect food from them. So a good reason would be because, just like we heard, rudeness is, or rudeness makes people angry. In this case, it's going to be your colleagues.
3. You must respect your manager. Why? Because he is taller than you.
Okay, so obviously you should respect your manager, but not because he's taller than you. So to give a normal reason, we'll say, well, because he's your manager. You should, because, how do I say this? Rudeness makes people angry, so we'll say, you should respect your manager because it's the right thing to do. I'll just say it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do.
4. You must go to work because it's boring at home.
You must go to work because it's boring at home. Well, trust me, no one would have gone to work. So we'll say, to give a good reason, we'll say, and to make money, right? So we'll say you should go to work to do your job and make money.
5. You mustn't wear shorts to work. You might be cold.
Okay, so you should definitely never wear shorts to work, but not because it's cold, but rather because it's not formal wear. So we'll say we could say it's not professional, but we already said it once, so it's not the right clothing for work. Okay, so it's not the right clothing for work.
6. You must be nice to customers. Why? Because they are poor.
Okay, so you should definitely respect your customers, but not because they don't have money. So we'll say, again, I could say rudeness makes people angry, but I already wrote it here. So we'll say because you will lose customers if you talk to them in a rude way. Okay, so let's go over the reasons again. 1, it's not professional. 2, rudeness makes people angry. 3, it's the right thing to do. 4, to do your job and make money. 5, it's not the right clothing for work. And 6, you will lose customers if you talk to them in a rude way. Okay, so this was exercise G. Let's move on. Using must and have, just like we talked in skills check 3 here. Let's take a look at exercise H. Let me turn this off. So write the correct word in each space. You dash go to work every day. Okay, so we're going to be choosing between have and must. So you dash go to work every day. I'll say you must go to work every day. You don't dash to go if you're ill. You don't have. By the way, the reason I didn't say have here is because there's no to. So if there was to, I'll say you have to go to work every day, but there was no to. There was only go, so I used must. So you don't have to go if you're ill. I used have because we have the to that I'm talking about. Let's go to C. You dash and be rude to customers. So NT obviously refers to not. So I'll say must. You mustn't be rude to customers. D. You dash to do your homework on time. Obviously we have to, so we'll say have. So you have to do your homework on, or your work on time. I've been completing a lot of homework recently. Anyway, E. Do you dash to work on Saturdays? Do you have to work on Saturdays? If I used must, it wouldn't make sense. So do you must to work on Saturdays, it doesn't make sense. So I have to use have. Do you have to work on Saturdays? Dash, we finish this work today. Now, take a look at this. If I say have we finished this work today? It sounds like pseudo-English. It doesn't make sense. So we'll say must. So must, actually, let me write that in capital, my bad. So must we finish this work today? This makes a lot more sense. Okay. G, who dash I ask about the new job? Who must I ask about the new job? And finally, why do I dash to finish this work by Friday? We have to, so immediately we'll use have. So why do I have to finish this work by Friday? Okay, exercise H. Now let's move on. H2 here. Let's take a look. I think this is the final exercise, so that'll be the end of our video. Make sentences and questions with the jumbled words. This one's pretty simple, just to end it out. So we have jumbled words, and we're gonna assemble it to make either a question or a sentence. Obviously, we have to and must. So let's take a look at A. So do you leave have now to? So do you have to? Obviously, have always has to after. Leave now. And suddenly, we have a fully functional question. So do you have to leave now? Let's go to B. So B, have to work at you don't lunchtime. Okay, that does not make sense. So for B, we'll say you don't have to work at lunchtime. Okay? C, to work, jeans mustn't wear you. You mustn't wear jeans to work. Okay? D, at must work, everybody respect you. We'll say you must respect everybody at work. Okay? Do I must assignment week this, the? I'll say, actually I'm going to start with must. It's in capital. So must I do this assignment? Oh, actually, no. Must I do the instead of this? The assignment this week. Boom. There you go. So let's go over them one more time. So do you have to leave now? You don't have to work at lunchtime. You mustn't wear jeans to work. You must respect everybody at work. And must I do the assignment this week? So this was exercise H2. And I think we're done. Are we done? Yes, we are. Okay. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you understood or if you have any questions. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.